Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video I will show you 10 police cars from different manufacturers in 1/18 scale, which is a rarity nowadays. Sit back, follow me, and enjoy the video. The Chevrolet Caprice is, in my opinion, one of the most iconic American large sedans of the 90s. It was a staple of American action movies of the time. Of course, in the world of model cars, it's also a very sought-after and popular model. However, if you want to get it in model form, you don't have too many choices in this scale, as only the UT model was released in the late 90s. This company can essentially be considered the forerunner of auto art. Unfortunately, it's now a pretty outdated model in terms of parts, but it's a nice big model, and what's more, it's fairly priced on the second-hand market, which makes it a reasonable purchase if you like police model cars. Price ranges from about $50 to $120 depending on condition. I think the 9th model is a very interesting car. I really like Subarus, and the WRX is the entry level into the world of sporty Subarus. It already has Subaru's turbo engine mated to their legendary all-wheel drive. This model is interesting because the French gendarmerie used mostly French cars in exciting, sporty versions. Auto has come up with a very rare version, as there are very few Japanese gendarmerie cars, so if you like Japanese cars you can get a real curiosity, as the Blob-Eye WRX is practically a non-existent model in this scale. The price at the time of making this video ranges from $90 to $150. 8th, another special also from Auto. The T16 405 has become a very rare car from the early 90s with outstanding performance. The Auto has already released a street version, so it is expected there was a gendarmerie version arriving as well. Nowadays, the T16 Autos have become very rare, and unfortunately this version has become a hard-to-come-by example. In terms of finish, I think it is a nice model, and if you collect police cars, then I think it is an unmissable item in your collection. There is currently one for sale priced at $190. 7th place brings us to the Premium League and another Subaru, in this case the GC8 Impreza. This is the car that Colin McRae used to make great, but I don't think the British police were too sad behind the wheel of this car, which was prepared for the police by ProDrive, and I think it's a huge plus for Auto Art to release it in model form. It is an old model, but very nicely finished, nothing to be ashamed of compared to today's models, and not only the exterior but the interior has the police accessories. Years ago this was a relatively fairly priced model to get. Unfortunately it is now becoming increasingly rare and expensive, but if you can find one at a reasonable price I don't think it's worth missing out on. I can't find any active listings at the moment, but they are changing hands for between $120 and $200 with original box. After the Caprice, the Crown Vic is in my opinion the second most iconic police car ever made, and this Auto Art model is a much better choice compared to the Caprice. You can see here that this model was born under the Auto Art umbrella, so the details are much nicer. The quality is exactly the same as the early Tuadezan's Auto Art models. The manufacturer has also released it in different state colors. Later Greenlight also produced this model, but unfortunately in this scale Auto Art is the best choice. Currently the cheapest example is around $250. The RX-8 is a brilliant car, but it was the model that gave the Wankels a bad name. I think it's one of the most beautiful cars of the 2000s in the Japanese line, but opinions are divided on its durability. In this case, Auto Art has released this type so far, but not only street versions but also police versions, which are much rarer. I really like Japanese police cars, and I think this is a model you should get if you have the chance, because it is one of the most beautifully designed Japanese police cars. Currently, the cheapest sale on the market for this model is $230. The R33 GTR is perhaps one of the most underrated skylines of all. Unfortunately, it was hard to live up to the shadow of the R32 Godzilla, and with the R34, Nissan set the bar very high with the Skyline generation. AutoArt was the first manufacturer to produce the R33 in really good quality. There was a Nismo version as well as the GTR version, and luckily they also launched the Japanese police version, which I think is an excellent model. For a very long time, this model was much cheaper than the other GTRs, but now it has become a much sought-after curiosity, and that's why it's at the top of the list. The price even surprises me. It is currently more expensive than the R32 Police GTRs, with the cheapest one for sale being $420. The Blobeye Impreza is one of my favorite new age Impreza. I think it's much nicer than the old Bug-Eye. For a very long time, this generation was also only available on the market in AutoArt, of course, in high quality. It also had the street version in several color variations. The price of the regular street variants have been sky high for years, and the police version has followed nicely behind the others. Now, the cheapest available Japanese police Impreza is $280, and the most expensive is just over $370. To me, this model wouldn't be worth that much, but anyone who wants one gets a beautiful AutoArt model. The Holden Commodore is essentially the second generation of the Opel Omega, only in Australia it was available with a much more interesting and powerful engine than in Europe. For the Australian market, AutoArt released a fairly wide range of Holden cars, and this became so successful in Australia and New Zealand that a separate sub-brand called Biondi was created to specialize in Australian cars. The Holden Commodore from this era was still called the original AutoArt and was available in police versions as well as several street versions. These police models could be had for around $250 Australian dollars and were quite rare these days. As most of the models for sale are available from Australia, if you are not deterred by the high shipping costs, you can add a really rare model to your collection. For the first place, I chose one of my favorite Japanese cars and its Japanese version of a police car. The Honda NSX is a beautiful car that is intertwined with the name of Formula One legend Ayrton Senna. AutoArt has released these NSXs in a signature version which is more detailed and has more parts than a basic AutoArt model. Unfortunately, the price of NSXs has skyrocketed over the years and they now sell for astronomical prices, but the police version is no exception. Currently, the cheapest such model is available for around $400 US, and the most expensive advertised model ends up at over $1,000. Let everyone decide for themselves if it is worth that much. This is the end of the video, and I don't rule out a continuation of this video in the future, as there are still a lot of cool police cars in this scale. Thank you for your kind attention. I will be back with a new video next week. Write in the comments section if you collect police cars. If so, in what scale and which one is your favorite? If you like my video, please like it. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And if you don't want to miss out on similar content, please hit the bell icon. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.